Good evening. I am Samriddhi Kesi and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli instructs to postpone upcoming NEB exams amidst ongoing teachers' protest. Board decides to conduct examinations from 4th of May. Recommendation process for office bearers of Transitional Justice Commission begins. Committee receives 111 applicants, including ex-justices and chief secretaries. Trump administration withholds over $2 billion grant for Harvard University. Harvard fights in court to protect disease research funds. And Cricket Association of Nepal can expand core camp to 52 players. New head coach Stuart Law arrives early to see player selection matches. Due to teachers' movement, the National Examination Board has postponed the Class 12 examinations. The examination, which was scheduled to begin on April 24th, will now be conducted from 4th of May. Chairperson of the National Examination Board, Mahashram Sharma, informed that the new examination date was fixed following the directive of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Prior to this, the board officials had met Prime Minister Oli. Earlier today, the board meeting had decided to conduct the examination on the pre-scheduled date under any circumstances. However, as the teachers' movement became more complex, Prime Minister Oli summoned the board officials this evening and directed them to postpone the examination.
सम्पूर्ण सरकारवालाहरूको चाहना बमोजिम पनि यो परीक्षालाई टेक्निकली यसको प्राविधिक हिसाबले अहिले जुन विगत बाहिर जुन किसिमको समस्या देखिएको छ त्यो समस्या समेतलाई चाहिँ हामीले हेरेर केही समय हामीले सार्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ निर्णय गरेका छौं। हजुर 21 गतेदेखि परीक्षा चाहिँ शान्तिपूर्ण हिसाबबाट सबैको सहयोगबाट परीक्षा सञ्चालन हुन्छ भन्ने कुरामा म पूर्ण विश्वस्त छु।
After the decision to conduct the examination, even by deploying staffs, the National Teachers Federation, which has been protesting for 21 days, had called the centre heads, principals, teachers and school staffs to Kathmandu to boycott the examination and participate in the movement. The examination had fallen into uncertainty after the Minister of Education, Bidya Bhattarai, resigned on Monday, while the teachers' Kathmandu-centric movement, which began on 2nd of April, was ongoing. The situation has worsened between the government and teachers across the country who have been on an educational strike for 3 weeks, leading to the closure of community schools nationwide. The government, citing budget constraints and other reasons, is determined to get the teachers back to school by any means and is unwilling to even hold the talks. On the other hand, the teachers are adamant about continuing their protest on the streets despite the disruption of teaching and learning. Helpless students are caught in the middle of the self-interest and ego of both sides.
The strike by community school teachers and staff, which began on 2nd of April, has reached a confrontational point with the government. The government is ignoring the teachers' demands and is unwilling to negotiate. Furthermore, the recent statements of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli seem to mock the teachers rather than offer a solution. The government's strategy appears to be wear down the protesting teachers and force them to return home. Adding to this, the resignation of the Minister of Education has created a situation where the teachers' demands are likely to be left unresolved.
र यो शिक्षक कर्मचारीहरूको आन्दोलनप्रति यसलाई चाहिँ विखण्डन ल्याउने, तुवाउने, निर्णायक आन्दोलनलाई कमजोर बनाउने त्यो हाम्रो षड्यन्त्र हो। त्यो षड्यन्त्रमा जो जति लाग्नुहुन्छ, जो कर्मचारी लाग्नुहुन्छ अथवा शिक्षकहरूलाई फुटाएर लगेर लाग्नुहुन्छ, उहाँहरू जवाफदेही बन्नुहुन्छ। हामी यसमा चाहिँ सरिक हुँदैनौं।
The indefinite strike by teachers has affected everything from teaching to examinations, bringing the overall education situation of the country to a chaotic state. As the distance between the teachers and the government widens, leaders from the ruling party themselves have begun to pressure the government to find a solution through dialogue.
अहिले न्यूनतम रूपमा राज्यको ढुकुटीबाट जति गर्न सकिन्छ शिक्षकहरू त्यसमा सहमत हुनुपर्छ अनि आउँदो वर्षमा त्यसलाई आफ्नो पारिश्रमिक लगायत पाउने सेवा सुविधालाई बढाउँदै लाने गरी उहाँहरू जानुपर्छ।
दुवै थरीले भाषा फेल्यो भनेदेखि चाहिँ मिलिहाल्छ, नत्र भए त यो हट गरेर त दुवै जना पार लाग्दैन, दुवै थरी पार लाग्दैनन्। त्यसबाट सन्देश के हो भने शिक्षकले अहिले नारा लागिरहेको आजको नारा सुनिरहेको थिएँ मैले, नारामा के भनिरहेछ भनेदेखि सरकार पनि परिवर्तन हुन सक्छ भनेर भनिरहेछ। अब त्यो स्थिति आयो भनेर त प्रधानमन्त्री पनि जान्छन्, बेकारको कुराकानी हुन्छ नि त।
The Teachers Federation estimates that fulfilling the demands of the approximately 17 types of teachers who have been working for 20 years, including permanent, temporary, relief, early childhood development and former higher secondary school teachers, would cost the government around 8 billion rupees. However, the government is avoiding this, stating that it cannot bear the additional financial burden for teachers while the country is going through an economic crisis. The government is also unwilling to clearly state the reasons for not being able to meet the demands.
साच्चीको आन्दोलन आजबाट सुरु भयो भन्ने लाग्छ के मलाई चाहिँ हैन आजबाट साच्ची आन्दोलन सुरु भयो किनभने सरकार हामीसँग पंखेजोरी खेल्न आएको छ अब शिक्षक बिना सब गर्छौं अब उस्तै पर्यो भने अब कक्षा कोठाको पढाइ पनि सुरु गर्छौं भनेर चाहिँ सरकार आउने अवस्था देखियो
राज्यले प्रशासनले त्यति हदसम्म गएर एक त हामी यो देशको म्यान पावर कर्णधार उत्पादन गर्ने सेक्टर अनि हामी वर्षौंदेखि अपमानित छौं र हामी अहिले सडकमा आइरहँदा यति दुःख यति पीडा हाम्रा कति शिक्षकहरूले भन्नुहुन्छ तलब आएको छैन बाख्रा बेचेलाको पैसा सिध्यो भैँसी बेचेलाको पैसा सिध्यो सरकार किन कानमा तेल हालेर बसेको छ
The conflict between teachers and the government has further intensified regarding the Class 12 examinations. The government and teachers are two responsible parties of the country. If the government continues to show its ego, the teachers refuse to back down, and the state of no dialogue persists, questions now raise upon the future of education of the country.
And in this context, in our Public Voice segment today, we have asked in several provinces how are the preparations ongoing for upcoming Plus 2 exams. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Books para past questions solve गर्दैछौं, old is gold bara solve गर्दैछौं.
मेहनत गर्ने सब्जेक्ट चाहिँ हो अकाउन्ट अनि इकोनोमिक्स त्यो दुवै सब्जेक्टमा हामीलाई धेरै नै पढ्नु पर्छ
कहिले पहिले भनेछ कहिले फिक्स छैन भनेछ कहिले के भनेछ त्यति खासै त छैन युट्युबहरु गुगलहरु नआएका जेपीटी च्याटहरु विभिन्न प्राविधिक शिक्षादेखि पनि हामीले लगेर आफ्नो तयारीको लागि हामीले 12 एक्जामको लागि तयारी लगाइराखेका
शिक्षकहरु आन्दोलनमा जानु भएको छ काठमाडौँ कोही फेरि रोडमै नाचेर साडी लगाएर पनि टिकटक बनाउनु भएको छ अब यहाँ फेरि मन फेरि बिचल्ली पनि परेको छ कि एक्जाम हुन्छ कि हुन्न कि त हुन्छ भन्ने भइदा हुन्थ्यो कि त हुन्न भन्ने भइदा हुन्थ्यो
आज फिक्स भयो एक्जाम हुने कि नहुने भनेर आज एक्जाम हुने भयो अब हल्का टेन्सन छ भनौं न सरकारले गर्दा
कोचिङ भइराछ हाम्रो चाहिँ अनि इफ नआकोहरु चाहिँ म त्यही सरहरुसँग सोध्छु एक्जामको लागि एकदम उत्साहित छौं हामीहरु तर सरहरु नभएको हुनाले अनि एक्जाममा पनि अरु कर्मचारीहरु आउने भएकोले अलि डर लागिरहेको छ 12 को एक्जामको तयारी त राम्रै भइराछ तर यो कहिले एक्जाम हुने कहिले एक्जाम नहुने भन्ने बनाउनले हामी अलि अन्यलमा थियौं तयारी त्यस्तो केही छैन एक्जाम पोस्टपोन हुन्छ भनेर बसेको पोस्टपोन नि भएन
तयारी त ठिकै छ अब अझसम्म पनि अब एक्जाम हुने कि हैन भन्ने टुङ्गो छैन
ट्युसन पढेर र घरमा पनि आफूले सकेको पढेर चाहिँ हामीले परीक्षाको तयारी गरिरहेका छौं
ट्युसन पढेर अनि त्यसपछि घरमा नि प्र्याक्टिस गरेर
ठिकठाकै भइरहेको छ एक महिना घरै बसियो तयारी गरियो
पढ्नको साथसाथै मैले चाहिँ एक्स्ट्रा नोटहरु पनि गरिरहेको हुन्छु
सर मिसले लेखिदिनु भएको नोटहरु पढिरहेको छु पहिलाको क्वेशन पेपरहरु पनि हल गरिरहेको छु
बुकमा नभएको नजानेको अब त्यही कुराहरु मैले गुगल युट्युबबाट सर्च गरेर सिकिरहेको छु
प्र्याक्टिस गरेको छु हैन एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेसहरु पनि स्कुलमा पढाइराख्छ त्यो पनि फुल्ली राम्रोसँग अटेन्ड गरेको छु
मैले अनलाइन क्लासेसहरु पनि हेरेको छु
ढिलो सम्म बसेर आफ्नो पढाइ पढिरहेको छु
अनलाइन क्लासहरुको सहायता पनि लिने सरहरुले दिनुभएको नोटहरु पनि पढ्ने
सबै राम्रै भइराछ तयारी चाहिँ खाली अलिकति जुन गाह्रो छ अकाउन्टहरु भयो त्यो सब्जेक्टहरु चाहिँ हामीले युट्युबबाट पढिराछौं
It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you why has not the government been able to appoint a new governor of the central bank, even though the position has been vacant for 2 weeks. 4% voted for option A, no recommendation from concerned committee. 75% voted for option B, political bargaining, and 21% voted for option C, lack of sensitivity. Here's today's question. How can the government-teachers conflict be resolved? Option A, teachers should resume classes. Option B, government should address teachers' demands. And option C, seek solution through dialogue. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select to option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The committee formed to finalize transitional justice, the Commission of Inquiry on Enforced Disappeared Persons and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission has received the names of 111 individuals for the position of office bearers. The office bearer recommendation committee stated that it has received 82 names from individuals and 29 from institutions. For the positions in the commission, former chief justices to former chief secretaries are in the list of contenders. The committee has stated that it will now begin the recommendation process. Among those who have applied institutionally are former Chief Justice Kalyan Shrestha, former Chief Secretary Leela Devi Gadaula, constitutional experts Radhe Shyam Adhikari, Bipin Adhikari and professors Krishna Khanal, Kedar Bhakta Mathema, among others. 5 applications have been received for the post of chairperson alone. 27 people have applied for either the position of chairperson or member. There are 79 applications for the post of member only. Now the committee will call victims and experts for the discussions and consultations and publish a shortlist.
योग्यता क्षमता र यो द्वन्द्व संक्रमणकालीन न्यायलाई टुङ्गोमा पुर्याउन सक्ने विज्ञ व्यक्तिहरूलाई हामी सर्टलिस्ट गर्दैछौँ। अब त्यो सर्टलिस्ट गर्ने क्रममा चाहिँ धेरै प्रोसेस प्रक्रियाहरू छ जुन एउटा कार्यविधि पनि बनाएको छ सर्च कमिटीले, त्यो अनुसार चाहिँ उहाँहरूलाई सर्टलिस्ट गर्छौँ र त्यो सर्टलिस्ट गर्नु अगाडि बीचमा चाहिँ हामीले विज्ञसँग र द्वन्द्व प्रभावित पीडित समुदायसँग पनि छलफलहरू एक लेभलको गरिसकेका छ र विभिन्न व्यक्तिहरूसँग कस्तो व्यक्तिलाई सिफारिस गर्दा राम्रो र यो संक्रमणकालीन न्याय टुङ्गिन्छ भन्ने विषयमा चाहिँ छलफलहरू चलाइरहेछौँ र त्यो चल्ने क्रम पनि छ र साइड बाई साइड त्यो जुन एप्लिकेन्ट्सहरूको लिस्टबाट चाहिँ सर्टलिस्ट गर्ने प्रक्रियामा अगाडि बढिसकेका छ।
Individuals active in legal and social sectors, from former judges, former members of the Commission and former presidents of the Nepal Bar Association seem interested in working in the transitional justice related commissions. However, the committee needs to get approval for the names that have come institutionally. The recommendation process will only proceed if the individuals accept. Previously, despite the committee completing all procedures, it could not make recommendations due to political disagreement among the parties. The committee faces the same challenge now.
पोलिटिकल कन्सेन्सस पनि चाहिनेछ र एउटा न्यायिक प्रक्रियाबाट पनि जाने भए हुनाले यसमा सबैको सहमति राय जरुरी पनि छ हैन। त्यतिकै मान्छे मात्र पठाएर समितिको एउटा काम त्यो त होइन, यो न्यायिक प्रक्रियाको पनि हो र यो सँगसँगै पोलिटिकल कन्सेन्सस पनि हो भएको हुनाले पनि यसमा चाहिँ दुईटै पक्षलाई सँगै लानुपर्छ र विशेष रूपले चाहिँ यसलाई टुङ्गाउन सक्ने विज्ञ व्यक्ति त्यो ६३,०००ले न्याय पाउनलाई एउटा बाटो खोल्ने व्यक्तिहरू छनौट गर्नेछ र यसपालि हामीलाई पोलिटिकल पार्टीबाट त्यस्तो कुनै दबाब छैन।
The recommendation committee has to recommend 5 names each, including chairperson for both commissions. The committee must be able to recommend individuals for the commission against whom no questions will be raised. Working on transitional justice related issues is not easy. If the parties again make the appointment of office bearers of the commission formed to finalize the transitional justice that has been stuck for 18 years, a matter of political maneuvering, the risk of it being further prolonged remains. That is all for the moment. Up next is news in Nepali. Thank you for watching. Good night.